Hi, thanks for joining me again and welcome to Punch Perfect Boxing. I wanted to do a short little piece on Joe Calzaghe, and I think there's opinion on Joe Calzaghe is very divided. You either love him or you hate him, and I know a lot of people use things like Joe Cal Slappy and stuff like this, and a lot of people say, oh, but he didn't fight the best, you know, when he could have fought the best. I think there are lots of reasons for all this, and I think, personally, I think Joe was a great fighter, one of the best super middleweights ever, one of the best light heavies ever, and I think that he gets very, very bad press, because there's a few facts that people, I put up on some of the boxing forums, and people just tend to ignore them. And I just thought, let's try and make a video. Let's just put some other points into the mix, points that people miss that might maybe make people think a little bit different. Now, when Joe started out, he had a lot of difficulty getting the big fights, and he managed to land eventually a fight with Chris Eubank and for a world title. Now, if you go and look at Joe's style, yes, he always had the blistering speed and stuff, but he used to hit, back in those days, a lot harder to the latter day Joe Calzaghe. Don't get me wrong, still had pop on his punches and stuff, but there were many reasons for that. And I know people say, oh, we just used to slap and stuff like this, but I wanted to put the record straight in this video. Joe suffered horrendously from hand injuries, and he broke his hands more than one occasion, right? And they were very, very fragile. Now, for a lot of his fights, as his career progressed on, he couldn't spar very much, he couldn't hit bags very much, and he couldn't hit pads very much. Now, to go into a world title fight and not be able to spar and hit anything, or very, very little, is extremely difficult. It's a bit like a footballer going into a World Cup final or a cup final and not having kicked a ball for a while, right? Or it's a bit like a wide receiver in American football. Yeah, you're brilliant at running, you've done all your running, all your conditioning, but you haven't caught anything for ages, right? You haven't caught a pass for ages, all right? And then you go into the Super Bowl or a massive game, and you're expected to catch the ball. You're expected to have that timing, that wherewithal to catch the ball. Now, can you imagine what it's like to go in for a professional boxer? You've not only got to set up your attacks and get your timing, your distance, your range, but you've also got to negate the guy who's coming forward. You've also got to learn how to compute where that guy is, what's coming at you. You know, how do you build it? You just do it on the fly. How do you build in your reactions? How do you build in your slips and your feints? If you're in sparring regularly and you're drilling that into your system the whole time, and it becomes second nature. But just to go in there cold for a world title fight and hardly having hit anything or sparred, just done your conditioning, your runs out on the hills, your press ups, your sit ups, or maybe a bit of weights, but you haven't actually hit anything. You haven't got your timing, you haven't got your distance, you haven't got your range. Now that to me is a massive achievement. How good would Joe's career have been if he'd have been less injury prone? I mean, right now, from what I saw recently, Joe's got a lot of pain in his hands, he's got a really bad back, and maybe if he hadn't had those injuries, he maybe would have fought more regularly, and he would have maybe have gone on a little bit longer. But it is what it is. But I think to do what he did with those injuries and those handicaps was a great achievement. So when people say Joe Cal Slappy, just think there were reasons for that. Reasons for the way he fought like he did. He was trying to protect his hands. He was trying to get through a fight the best way he could. And what would his career have been like if he didn't have those injuries, he didn't have those setbacks? Who knows? Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.